I'm Chris Williams from Cyclone Fanatic, and a proud Iowa State graduate from the class of 2007. No one shows up like Iowa State fans. And Cyclones support Cyclones on and off the field. Your gift can provide scholarships to students, fund groundbreaking research. We could even drum up opportunities for the marching band. Visit MoveWhatMatters.com to learn how you can make an impact today.
He's the prime cut passer from behind the meat counter. It's Fairway Frank. And introducing a 6'3" center who's a cut above the rest. Say hello to Audie Crooks.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cyclone Fanatic pregame show. I'm your host, Leah Nelson. We've got Connor Ferguson in the studio today to talk about Iowa State women's basketball taking on Kansas in this busy day of Cyclone hoops. But before we get started, let's talk about our sponsors as always. Starting off with our title sponsor, Channel Seed. We love Channel Seed. Amazing people, great Iowa State fans. We're super excited to have them on board. And then our friends, as always, at Fairway Meat and Grocery. Check them out for any meat you need, any produce. They've got it all and they are great. So make sure you check out Fairway when you've got a chance. All right, Connor. Busy day. Iowa State women's basketball taking on Kansas. Iowa State's playing pretty well, so what could we expect from Kansas today?
Yeah, super busy day. Can we should probably tell people we're recording this early. I'm not at Hilton Coliseum right now, if you couldn't tell. Kind of crazy, I know. Iowa State men's basketball just got a recruitment, so really busy night around these parts, but a really big game coming up on Saturday for the women. I know people might get tired of me saying it like that, but this one's huge. Iowa State beat Kansas at home earlier in the season by 14 points, and it was a distant 14. It wasn't much closer than that. They did a great job of handling a lot of Kansas's top players. But the big deal here is the 5 games you have left. You have Houston at home on Wednesday after this. They're the worst team in the Big 12 currently. Then you have a 3-game stretch that starts with a road matchup against a top 25 Baylor team. You could come back on Tuesday and you're going to Orlando. I shouldn't say come back to face UCF. They lost that game last year, if you guys don't remember. And then you have senior night against number 14 Kansas State. So big stretch to wrap up the season. I think Iowa State's coming off of its best performance of the season by far with some extra rest. So that should really get the fans excited, especially y'all diehards on the women's side.
When you kind of lay out Iowa State's the rest of their season, it's really surreal how quick this season went. I remember doing like one of the first shows with Chelsea and thinking like, wow, we've got a lot of basketball to cover these next couple of months. And now you're already talking about senior night, which will be crazy. But how does Iowa State keep this moment? I mean, they're playing good basketball. How does Iowa State keep the momentum going into not just the Kansas game, but the rest of the season?
I think they got to keep shooting threes, and I won't limit it to Sydney Harris tonight. But
I knew that was coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, you have to have a well-rounded offense. You have to be able to know that when you're carrying the ball down the floor, that you can beat a team in multiple ways. Now, there's going to be games, and there has been games. Kansas, the first time being one of them, where Audie Crooks is going to get hers. So go let her get hers, but be fluently able, and I don't know if I'm using that correctly, but be multi-tooled and useful and shoot the three and get some attempts up. I think that when Iowa State's been at its best this year, it's been when they can be multi-dimensional and they're putting up, 15, 20, 25 3-pointers in a game. I think that's been a really integral piece in games where they've played well.
Anyone on Kansas beside like that Iowa State really needs to focus on?
Yeah, Samaya Nichols had 22 in the first game. That's on 6 of 16 shooting from the field. And obviously, she averages 19.7 points per game for Kansas. She's their leading scorer by far. They've got 2 that average in double figures. The other is Ellie Evans. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. And she had 12 when Kansas was in Ames, but not a ton of scoring outside of that. If you can figure out how to limit that part of the lineup again, or just attack either of them, you're going to take away a lot of their threats right off the cuff on the defensive side. So I think that's a really big part to this game. And, you want to TCOB this, you want to do the same in the next one and get ready for that 3-game stretch as soon as possible.
You've mentioned the 3. That's what you want to see more. Talk about a potential matchup with Crooks. Are we going to see a 30-point game, or do you think it's going to be more on the guards?
It was 33 the last time. I think I don't know how many games she's put up 30 points this year. She was 13 of 18 in that game. I'm excited to see what Kansas does differently to attack her in this. And I want to see if she's as efficient tonight. If that point total goes up, I think that's the most overrated part of the stat line we're going to look at there. There's 7 boards, and obviously you only have 5 misses out of 18 shots. Can she do that again? Can she get better against a team she's already seen once? I think that's what I'm looking for the most out of this game, and something that kind of gets lost with when you don't do the round robins and stuff like that. And I heard the Big 12 is going to go back to 18 conference games. I would think that would come with more of a focus on playing more people, so we're probably going to lose a little bit more of that too. But yeah, this is a classic second meeting. You want to go beat a team for the second time. They know what you're going to try to do, and you've got to adjust and you've got to be better. So I'm excited for all the things I just mentioned.
I'm excited too. This is something I would potentially ask Chelsea since she's played, but I can ask you. I think you'll be able to answer this as well.
I will pretend to be Chelsea if you want.
No, it's okay. You can try if you'd like, but Chelsea's one of a kind. She's a beast. But Iowa State has already played Kansas. Can you talk a little bit about the difficulties of playing a team twice? I know, like in softball, you play a team 3 times. You play them Friday, you play them Saturday, and you play them Sunday. And let me tell you, by Sunday, it is difficult because you've seen everyone, you've got film on all their pitchers, and you know what each and every player is going to do. So just talk a little bit and give your insight about playing a team twice.
Yeah, my insight's just from hockey, and I can tell you there's a lot more chirping in the second game and the third game than there was in the first, almost in every occasion. The big thing is here that they know how they got beat, right? They all experienced it firsthand too. It wasn't like they watched it on film and said, like, this team's going to attack you in this way, and that's what we need to figure out how to guard. You were in it. You saw what worked. You saw what didn't work. Both sides did. And now you've basically got another layer of adjustments. It's like halftime adjustments, but far more detailed. And you've got to go figure out how to come out on top in this one, whether you're just 1% better or you're lapping the field with them and you made all the right adjustments. So it's really difficult in that sometimes you can just beat a lesser opponent 3 times, but that's very rare. Right. I would say, I know the numbers kind of point to it actually is pretty easy, but it's because most teams don't play each other 3 times in a span of a month and a half or whatever. So yeah, you got to be ready. They're going to be ready, and they know exactly how you beat them the last time. So you'd better pack something special, I suppose.
And that's exactly what Iowa State's going to do. They're going to pack something special. I feel it. They're playing well. I'm excited to watch this game. Connor, thank you for joining us today. Everyone tune back in for post-game right after the game. Shout out to our title sponsor, Channel Seed, and to Fairway and Aiden for producing the show. Go Cyclones.